Welcome back to Nobby on Cars. I'm Mark Noble.
I'm Bob Flavin. Hi.
I was just about to say he's Bob Flavin.
No,
Where are we?
Well, actually, we started off in Germany. We ended up in Austria. Now I think we're back in Germany again.
Back in Germany.
I don't know.
We passed some guys with automatic machine guns,
Yeah.
and they just said,
Yeah,
So.
go ahead. And then we were chased by a guy in the 5 Series, which was interesting as well. He pulled over someone else, but it looked like he was pulling over us.
you know, when you see the blue lights in your mirrors and you go, oh, wasn't us.
High-speed manoeuvres.
We're here because Volkswagen are just about to launch the ID.5. How do we describe what an ID.5 is?
It's a little bit like a big ID4, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of struggling to see. I know it's coupe on the back, but it's a different number. So ID4, ID5 should be something else. But this is like ID4 coupe as far as I can see.
It's a 12mm smaller roof height than an ID4.
That bit. And it feels like a bigger cabin inside. It does feel like a more spacious, roomy place to sit, but I'm really struggling to find where the big differences is.
Just to say as well, we'll have separate reviews of the car on our own channels as well, but thanks for joining us in another one of these dual...
Hit the subscribe buttons.
Yeah.
It is all like the last time we did this dual video thing, so please hit the subscribe button and let us know on both channels. That's Nobby on Cars channel is one, and my channel is Bob Flavin as well, so just subscribe to both channels, you get 2 different views.
Although the Hellfire Club is lovely, but the car park was not as scenic as this.
No,
this
not
is
quite,
just amazing.
We're in a sort of an Alp.
So the starting price, after grants and everything, for the entry level is it's €5 off 55 grand. That's for an ID.5 business. There's only one motor. It's a 77 kilowatt hour battery.
One big battery, yeah, big battery. But 55 grand is not.
Well, I'm not finished because
That's starting price.
so this actual car is actually a GTX.
Yeah.
So there's pros on the test trip at the moment as well.
We briefly had 299 horsepower.
Oh yeah, I'll
Briefly.
tell you about that in a second.
Yeah.
So if you wanted an ID.5 GT Max, you'd probably just go for the business anyway. But the jump between business is 66 and then €76,000. Like,
This hasn't got 7 seats right now. This is just, as you see it, a 5-seat. This isn't just a GTX one, that's business one. Like, you're getting on, that's a big car, I know, but that's a lot of money.
now what Bob was saying about terms and conditions apply with the brake horsepower. So you have 299 brake horsepower in the Max version. It's all-wheel drive, the GTX.
GTX.
If you have over 80% state of charge,
And the temperature.
the temperature has to be about 20 something degrees.
Yeah.
And for a 10-second burst period, you'll have 299 brake horsepower.
For 10 seconds. It's like the Formula 1 boost thing, isn't it? You get more horsepower for a certain period of time. And then after that, we don't know what you've got when you don't have, and we've gone beyond all of that now.
It's still quick, like.
It's very quick.
Straight line quick. And actually goes into bends. We tested that and we left
Yeah.
a bit of rubber on the side of a Autobahn.
We've had some software problems already,
Yeah.
a few. But we talk about that maybe on the drive because there's a lot. It's very busy, the software. This is the latest version of the software as well.
3.1.
It has the active cruise control, lane keeping, and also can do overtakes. We haven't figured that one out. There's a lot.
No.
We couldn't make it do that. So this is a GTX model. It will look slightly different if you pick the business or the lower spec version of it. But they say these are air vents or not. There's just plastic fronted here as well. There is an air vent area here in the front, allows air come through it, and a camera here within the Volkswagen logo on the front as well. Volkswagen have WOB on everything, all their Volkswagen cars. But other than that, it is ID4 on the front. You can see it yourself. It looks like an ID4, just some changes to the grille. Moving along the length of the car, you will, and I have struggled to see the difference between it and ID4 on the side as well, but it is narrower on this little bit here on the top. It still has these funny little door handles that are touch, but if you yank them, they actually come up. They will pop out once in a while. It seems to be like a safety feature to it. But big doors, heavy doors, each one of them are large. You'll get the kids in the back. Massive alloys. That may also come at a cost of massive tyres, which will cost you a fortune by the time to change them. Then you come around the back of it here and you have this kind of matrix lights that's going on. Lower lights down here. There's nothing here that resembles sort of a exhaust pipes or anything in the back of it. Electric tailgates are a standard. That spoiler is also standard on GTX. Big enough boot, bigger than ID4, but it's still weirdly shaped. It's not very tall, it's kind of wide and has these little slots down both sides, you can lose stuff. And under that as well, there's also a little bit more space for your cables and chargers and things. No spare wheel. But it is quite a big car. Whether it's 75,000 euros worth of a car, I don't know. If you're going for the top spec one, it's 55 grand at the start. Its price seems pretty high, but I think we should have a look around on the inside of it too.
Essentially inside here is exactly like the ID4 GTX that I had on the channel way back at the start of the year. The same navy dashboard, red little bits on the GTX. You won't obviously get that in the Pro version. The screen is the same, it's no bigger. Display here is exactly the same. It doesn't seem to get as hot. Some of these get really, really hot. Now, as Bob mentioned, this version has 3.1 software, which will do things like update with swarms. It'll do cloud data with other Volkswagens. If they're near you, it'll pass on traffic information. And it's meant to also, if you're in travel assist, which speeds up, slows down with road signs, stops and slows down with traffic, it's also meant to be able to realize a car in front is going slower than what you've asked the radar crews to do, and it's meant to be able to, without you inputting on the steering wheel, change lane, overtake the vehicle and return to the lane you were in. But we haven't managed to figure out how to do it. There is a button here, but you still have those haptic-y buttons, but everything else is the same. There's the slots for your drinks. There's a lot of leg room up front. You were very comfortable, Bob, with your legs stretched out here. But all inside the vehicle is like an ID4. So again, yeah, you do get these kind of sports bucket seats. But this version, if you go for it, you can get a black roof or a glass roof, optional extra. There's little storage pockets for things. But again, it is an ID4. In the back, the same climate control system is here. 2 USB-C charging ports. There's an armrest. You can access the boot. It's all stuff that we've seen before in the other versions of the larger SUV from Volkswagen, i.e. the ID4. The Skoda Enyaq Coupe, again, similar size car. So once you understand that's the type of vehicle you're getting, then you'll be fine. But if you're looking for a totally different model because it's called an ID5, you're not going to get that. Shall we do a few facts then, Bob?
Yeah, we should need to do a few facts. I'll tell you what the first fact is. The boot space on this car is 549 litres. And you know what? I think we should just do a voiceover of you, because you've lovely dulcet tones you use on the radio, to voiceover of detail, of course, with a bit of shots. We'll be back after this.
The ID.5 is capable of towing up to 1,400 kilos. With 135 kilowatt charging, 5 to 80% on the Pro version is 29 minutes, while on the GTX it is 36 minutes. They use different cell chemistry to achieve this. The car can find parking spaces for you. A green light will illuminate when it's found a space inside a car park, and it can memorise up to 5 parking spaces, for example at your driveway or at the driveway of a relative. Volkswagen are also getting ready to introduce plug and charge. You register once with the online software, and then you'll be able to plug in the cable and the car will handshake without a charge card. You'll basically be able to plug in and charge in an instant. And towards the end of 2022, there will be a pack that you'll be able to transport around with you for an extra burst of energy if you can't find a charger. This will be an additional purchase from Volkswagen, but you'll basically have a backup battery with you at all times. Now, back to you, Bob.
You see, I told you had a lovely voice.
What did you think of that?
As well, they give you a little box that you can charge at 11 kilowatt hours from something else as well. They didn't really go into detail.
They didn't go into huge detail about that.
No, that sounded a bit of... I never heard this put in a box. I know there's a granny cable which you use for a 3-pin plug, but...
It was like as if they meant that you would have a backup.
Like you'd bring your own little charger with you.
It was weird.
Where would you charge it from? You brought your
I
own
don't
charger,
know.
would
They just brushed over it.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Did that sound like... Okay. The other thing that they're going to introduce from this, and I presume they'll do it elsewhere then with the ID range, is you'll once register your card, and then you just plug this car into any charger. It'll do a handshake with the charger and it'll bill you yourself. But kind of like the Tesla idea of plug, charge.
Fascinating plan to do, because essentially it means that Volkswagen becomes an energy company as well as becoming a car company. So they're going to supply your energy, your needs throughout. They already do something similar with your home charging. You can get a Volkswagen charger and build it through them as well. But this means that they're going to integrate this across all chargers on all networks. Now that's a big job across Europe.
And I wonder will we see branded car manufacturer branded chargers down the line where they take a cut from the energy provider and you'll charge your branded car with them. Again, a bit like Tesla.
A bit like EasyGo as well, I suppose. You know, EasyGo, you can use their car to charge on basically anything, but they have their own branded chargers, which means the competition is fierce, because if that means if Volkswagen is going to become an energy company, it means it's going to leave everybody else in their wake, so they could actually make profit from selling electricity, probably more profit than they could make from selling a car.
Where this car will be built is fully sustainable, so the whole thing ground up, totally emission-free motoring.
It's a big claim. That's a big claim.
It is a big claim.
That's a big claim.
But
yeah.
I think they'll have to be able to back it up.
They're going to have to, because that's what Polestar claim, and a lot of other car companies are at that same thing. That's kind of zero emissions from the start to the finish of the car.
Another thing the car will be able to do, a lot of the automated systems I've tried with parking, the car where it parks itself, don't always manage to get it to work. But this car will be able to get live information about chargers and car parking, and when it finds a spot, if you're cruising down the street, a light will go green and it'll say, aha, I found one. And then it can save up to 5 parking destinations. So if you have a really awkward driveway, or you've whacked your side of your car off your pillars one too many times, the car will save the memory. It's nothing new. BMW has been able to do it for quite a long time, but it is a handy feature.
It is if you've got flower pots or small, short walls and things. Yeah, it'll certainly be an easy feature to put into it. All right. Software updates, they're going to continue with these software updates that they've been doing all along. So this is the latest software on it. Whether that software is very slow to come out from, I know it comes out all the time. BMW, even I had the M50 the other night, and it did a software update while I was sitting there charging. New software out the whole time. It seems to be, we seem to be getting this constant over-the-air thing going on.
So this is 3.1. Right now as we filmed, 3.0 is the latest release. Again, the Cooper Born I had was 3.0.
Yeah.
But this will be interesting. If someone can display to us, we'll try it on the drive in a minute. Can we get the car to overtake without us doing anything?
I want to sit back on a motorway and not actually touch anything. That's just to see, because that's what they showed in the video. He managed his hands in a reverse, and he had his hand both sides of the steering, not touching anything. Yeah. So I want to do that. We might die. Wait for part 2.
Let's go and find out. This side, yeah. Ours in the middle of the road.
Right, this side, okay. Just checking.
So welcome to the inside of the ID.5. Yeah?
Yeah, it's quiet.
It is quiet, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Are these 21s? These are
21 inch, yeah, they're huge.
Not standard wheel size. I think it's 19.
19 I think is standard on the entry level one. Same as ID4. 21 looks the best by quite some distance, just because it looks like a concept car. You know, it looks like something they draw and they don't really make it.
But we're on lovely, smooth Austrian, not sure, Germany
somewhere
roads.
Between those two, yeah. Not sure which one.
Not quite the same at home. Now, they did say in the presentation today that the car is a lower centre of gravity. What do you feel about that?
I have a problem with the weight of batteries under a car. You know, when you go over a speed bump and you come off the speed bump and the back of the car feels like you're after scraping it off the ground because it's so heavy down the rear.
Tail strike.
Yeah, kind of that tail strike feel. Yeah, this isn't so bad. The suspension of this feels okay as you're turning into each of the corners, and it is nice to have something heavy down the bottom to keep it planted on the road. But then you have a problem with the weight on the tires, which will increase your tire wear. You know, these aren't light cars. Most of these cars are over 2 tons.
I found the Enyaq RS quite bouncy.
Yeah.
I don't find this bouncy.
No, this is very stable. This is very Volkswagen. Main switch is deactivated, is all I'm getting this active cruise control thing. Anyway, turn that one on. Now there, travel assist selected. We're going to try this travel assist thing, yeah? So, main switch is deactivated again. Every time I do this, the thing goes on and off. Their travel assist is selected, but it's not engaged. Okay, now it's kind of steering itself there.
By the way, while Bob is waffling, just look at the views here. Like it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Now that is completely steering itself in that car. Just so you know. Speed limit is 70 along here. 60, 70. 50 ahead.
And by the way, if you're afraid of all the technology we're talking about in this car, if you're looking at Bob's hands on that steering wheel right now, that's from an iPhone. You know, we've come a long way.
Yeah, it's true.
We shouldn't be afraid of technology.
It's very easy to use in fairness. But now I still haven't seen any signals from the car saying about overtaking. It is basically steering itself through this town. It's
Now,
obeying the speed limit.
you weren't paying attention when they said it's 90 kilometers an hour and above.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake.
We're in a 50 zone.
So many conditions. What's with the crashed cars?
Jesus.
What the... What's going on there?
NCAP, how are you?
Diesel's €2 and 1.9 here. Very expensive, just so you know.
But if you're watching this in 2030, it's probably a bargain.
No, that is €10 per litre.
Okay,
So
I was going to say,
very steady 50 with
Yeah.
Polish people behind me.
let's find out actually, as we're doing this, what sort of energy consumption are you getting? So since the car has been charged, and we've done a kind of mix of motorways,
Yeah.
autobahn, twisty kind of what we call B roads at home, it is doing, where's it gone now?
Oh my God, it's just accelerating its own as well up to 100. Look at this.
Almost 21 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is not bad for,
Not bad four-wheel
now
drive.
it is 19 degrees. Bob's trying to kill us.
No, the car's doing this. I'm not doing this. It's just
The car's doing it.
I'm not
Jesus.
even trying. You just cover your eyes, baby. This is going to do its own thing.
The drop is on my side, and
Yeah.
the car will roll this way first.
That is so. Look at the view, though. Look at the view. Look, I'm just going to look at the view while the car's doing the drive.
Will you watch the road, will you? Jesus Christ. It is
It's
lovely.
good.
though. I can't have a steady hand if you're going to drive like a lunatic.
It's got it. It's got it. It's fine.
It is really a beautiful, beautiful place.
You won't see much of it, but it's brilliant. Yeah. Oh man, there's
Oh,
a massive,
logs.
different kind of logs there, side of the road. Oh, it's such a beautiful area. But back to the car. Concentrate. 21.1 kilowatt hours, okay for a four-wheel drive car.
Right 500 meters and continue to follow the B305 towards L Arms A.
Easy for you to say.
That's quite acceptable, I think, for...
Yeah, it's all right. Anything around the 20, under 20 is better. More efficient gets closer to the 10 mark, but that's very rare. You won't see too much of that in a moment. You have to put in big batteries, four-wheel drive. It's all going to take part of the power.
Yeah. And when it suits the car, 300 brake horsepower. Do you want the maps back? It might make life easier.
A little bit. I'll have two maps here in front of me. I'm okay. I have one out in the big virtual display out in front of me.
This has
Over
the
here as
augmented heads up. How do you find it?
It pops on every once in a while and kind of shows you where the car is supposed to go, which I get. And then a massive arrow appears when you're supposed to take a turn.
Yeah.
But would I, if it was an optional extra? Yeah, probably wouldn't bother with it. You've so many other little cues, information things in front of you. I don't think you need it. It's a nice gimmick, but
It's about £1,000, so it's...
that's a lot of money for
It
it.
is. It is.
You probably get it back out of it though. Some people will like that sort of thing. It is very nice when you see it. It pops up, but it kind of glows in front of you. Then this big blue line goes across the top there. You've so many different cues to make sure you don't miss your turn. And still, you missed your turn earlier.
I did miss my turn earlier. I was also impressed with the fact that the camera on the front, which reads your typical road signs, is it the gantries they're called over the motorways?
Yeah.
So really high up speed changes, digital ones, and the car was able to pick them up. And again, if you have travel assist on, the car will speed up or slow down according to roadworks, the gantries overhead, whatever it is, the car will keep adapting to that different speed. So you never get in trouble.
You're getting a recharge now. Roadworks. Nobody predicted a roadworks. But that does give me a chance to talk about the little buttons that are here on the doors and the buttons that are down here, which still feel a little bit cheap and a little bit they don't work. And it's frustrating because when you're a dad or a mom and you're sitting here in the front seat and you're trying to open and unlock doors and do child locks and things, you don't need that kind of frustration. You just want a button to press, not these kind of fakey-makey buttons.
I do find out of all of them, the child lock thing works okay, the unlocking the doors works okay. That'll make it into a Bentley someday. And, and then someone will get upset about it.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll have to put up with
Same
it.
as these buttons here. They've changed some of this stuff here, but it still feels a little bit flimsy when you touch. You don't feel like you've really touched anything, you know. I just changed up the traction. What's that? That's for the mountains. Look.
Yeah, we're not going there today.
I mean, good though. Mode, individual, comfort, eco just died. The whole. It's so sensitive.
Go on to Eco though, what does it do to your range?
Range is gone to 308 kilometres. It's gone up a bit, yeah.
Right here.
Towards Innsbruck.
It really is a beautiful, beautiful place. The scenery is just
Very
incredible.
smooth roads.
If I had a bit of snow here now, it would be like somewhere you could just
Kilometers.
not necessarily go skiing, but
Look at the map. We're literally just skirting along between a pile of mountains. Look at that. That is mad looking.
so this hasn't been a typical review. We're kind of just reacting to the car as we see it, as we find things. It's a very accomplished car. It will make you feel like you've spent all that money.
It feels solid. Like you feel like you're in something substantial. I'm not saying something that's 75 grand's worth of a car, but you do feel like you're not in it. It's not a toy car. It's not a toy electric car. It's not something experiment. It feels like a finished product.
Like if you were tall and you were a front passenger, this thing is really like
Massive.
the
Yeah.
leg room is
I
massive.
can set it 6'1", and I can set it so I can't touch the footwell. That's how far back that goes. And you still have room for 2 passengers in the back. Easy, 3 at a stretch.
But I do think it just comes back to the Pro. It's not going to... The Pro, bar the GTX badge, on the back and on either side, you get the same alloys if you spec them. It doesn't look any different. So no one will actually go, oh, they spent the extra money. They got a
Yeah,
GTX. Apart from that badge.
They'd only ask you why you bought a GTX, not a Pro. That's why.
And maybe you want all-wheel drive.
See, I prefer the more range. And I don't mind rear-wheel drive. I quite like that. But the extra range that the standard rear-wheel drive one would give you over a four-wheel drive, because it's Ireland and even England, you're not going to really need, until you go very far north, northern Scotland, then you might need the four-wheel drive. But other than that, no.
Doesn't snow enough.
No.
Rains a lot.
Yeah, but a rear-wheel drive is fun in the rain, though. That's the benefit of that part.
But to sum up the driving experience today, I think we've both driven the ID4 extensively. It drives like an ID4.
It does, yeah. And ID5. And ID4 Coupe.
And ID6.
They all kind of drive the same. Lovely car, really, really nice. It's great to see another electric car hit the market. I think it's slightly confusing calling an ID5 not ID4 Coupe or ID4 something else. I think that's the confusion. I expected a whole new car, and that's not what we were delivered.
Look at what Skoda have done. It's just Enyaq Coupe. It's not a different variant.
Software upgrades welcome. That's good. That's a lot of snow.
It is. I'll take another shot.
You gotta take a shot at that. That's like snow-capped alpine region view right there. It's very good at holding you on that line.
Hey Bob, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
But
Oh.
literally, there's Alps at the end of the tunnel as well. That is like Everest over there.
Attention, border ahead.
Hey, we're going to Austria again!
Going to Austria. Woohoo! Yay,
It's good.
Austria!
It's good to be home.
Hello, Austria. We're back. Auf Wiedersehen, it says right there. Then it says, look, Republic, Austria. Is the diesel cheaper here? The diesel's cheaper in Austria. No, it's not.
192.
The 192 is cheaper in Austria. Germans, come to Austria. It's cheaper diesel here. And BP.
Anyway, this has been more of a road trip in an ID5 than an ID5 review. But look, time for the conclusion.
Buy the ID4. That's it, pretty much.
So look, before we give you our conclusions on the car, we're both independent YouTube people here in Ireland. There's not that many of us doing it.
There really isn't, no.
So you can support us by commenting, liking, subscribing if you haven't. We both have Patreon links. You can tip us on PayPal. We're here on our own time doing this, so
Subscribing is free. Doesn't cost anything. Just click the red thing. On the
it's nice to be nice.
On both channels. It's always good.
So look, it feels like, and we've had a look at different variations from Volkswagen Group in the Enyaq Coupe, what Cooper are doing. Volkswagen have kind of put themselves as the reliable, steady, not too out there brand. You know, if you want
There's no video games. There's no, you know.
No.
It's
nice.
steady stuff. Yeah.
It looks nice. It's not going to offend, and I think they're in the right place with that. I just wonder with the ID5 if people, like they do say, the inside space compared to how it looks outside is next model up. But with that claim, I just wonder, and with some of the price tags, is someone going to expect to be getting into a 5 Series vibe on the inside?
I thought this was going to be a 7-seat. I thought this was going to be something completely different from ID4. And what I find it to be is ID4 Coupe
Basically.
with a bit more room inside.
So if you prefer the looks of it, and you like that sloping line, excellent.
And ID4 is a very pretty looking car. I think it's one of the most handsome looking electric cars in the market. It's not a small car, it's a big car. This is bigger, slightly bigger, with bigger alloys and things on it, but it's a super looking car.
Yeah, and obviously all the software stuff we've discussed in the video, that will be available on your ID4 anyway, over the air. And I've heard reliably enough that there's going to be a bit more supply of ID4 flushing through again. Jury will be out on this, how many Ireland's going to get in the next 12 months of this car.
July, August this year, they're talking about more supply ID3 and ID4. But whether that actually materialises or not, it's just so hard to tell with Ukraine problems and supply problems and battery problems, and just hard to get the stuff, that's all.
So they're making it. Whether you want to spend the money, that's for you to decide. But it is a good looking car.
I probably wouldn't go GTX though. I probably wouldn't.
Just get Pro.
Just get the Pro one. If you're going to go that route, I'd just get the Pro one. I think the GTX is lovely, but you're not really you're gaining a little bit more horsepower. But not really that noticeably, I don't think. No, it's not a massive difference between the two that maybe spend the extra cash for this GTX. Good colour though.
But I have been impressed by just the advances in charging, some of the tech. It feels like they're kind of catching up now on
efficiency of that battery. You actually do get that range. Which
yes.
is kind of weird. We're used to at this stage someone claiming 560 kilometers and we get 450.
Yeah. The
But
claim on this
seems
is
to be
about
closer.
511. The GTX is a little bit under 500 kilometers. They say it'll be on sale from July.
Here's hoping. We need more cars. There's not many cars to buy at the moment.
Thank you for watching this video of the Volkswagen ID.5. Just call it the Grand Coupe or something, shouldn't they?
You should have
ID.5
called it
Grand
something
Coupe.
else. I know ID.5. I know you keep going Coupe or something behind it. I know it's still hangs there. But yes, thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please subscribe to both channels. Like we said, we're independent channels. We're self-funded. This is all down to ourselves to do this sort of stuff. So
Our
we're
own
off to
steam.
enjoy- Yeah, we're going to enjoy some mountains.
And German/Austrian beer.
We have to go back to Austria now.
Once the car goes back. Right.
Thanks for watching.
See you next
See you
time.
next video.